Hello, can you guys hear me? Let me know in chat. YouTube has apparently changed their settings, which made me going live the way I usually go live not possible. So, okay, okay, hold on. I need. So let me know. Can you guys hear me? Let me know in chat, and then I'll say hi to everybody. Hi, Puppy Breath. Hi, Harmony. Let's see who else is here. It looks like Amber R. Hello. Looks like Skinny Queen might be here. Hello. Desiree, if you're here, hello. Laura, hello, hello. Hey, Linda, good to see you. Hey, Grateful Life. I said hi to Desiree. Hey, Wookie Lover, good to see you. How's the volume? Give me a thumbs up if it's good, or a thumbs down if it needs change. Then let me know if it needs to go up or down. Hey, Aunt Amy, how you doing? It's getting to be your summer. Hey, Frosty, hello. So it doesn't sound like I'm screaming at you guys? Sweet. Okay. Let me change the settings on this. I am going to be making split pea soup. Why? Because it's easy. I know how, and I've got veggies that need to get used up, and I just don't have the energy to do anything else. So, and I guess perchance we could potentially discuss, I don't know, Chantal and her terrible behavior. Hold on, I need to put no chat on this. There we go. I'm just really hoping my iPad doesn't bail. Okay. It is good to see you, Aunt Amy. And just ours. Okay, so good. As long as it doesn't sound like I'm screaming. That's the big thing. So, I don't think I need to disconnect my my smoke detector for this. I hope not. But, did my chat freeze? Nope. Okay. So, if everybody's ready to go. Yes, pea soup is the best, Skinny. It really is, and it's so easy. And I've got some organic reduced sodium chicken broth I need to use up, and so it's just a good way to throw all the veggies that need to get used up. I've washed everything. I've washed my hands. I'm not going to be digging in my ears, my crotch, or anything else. So I'm sorry if you're here for that kind of entertainment. I can suggest another person that live streams if that's what floats your boat. um, Yeah, I feel you, Desiree. Mr. Grebo has been, he's just been fishing a lot. And like, there's no help. And then there's like actively making my life more difficult by, yeah. So I'm just making the soup because I don't like to see food go bad. He actually went fishing all morning. Now he's working swing. So I haven't seen him in days. So I guess we can start with, um, okay, so for this pea soup, it's basically I use up like two or, however many stalks of celery I need, like two heaping cups of carrots and like a cup of onions. Got my little chikara knife from Laura. Um, and of course I'll sweat down the onions and the celery to get them good and soft. And so, yeah, if anybody has any questions, go ahead and ask. But I suspect everybody here has a fairly good idea how to make this stuff. So I'm just gonna start yapping. Oh, proof of life. And is the shovel dirty? I'll never tell. Right? Oh my God. Yeah, it's to the point I pull out the shovel and the tarp and I just set them by the door and then all of a sudden he'll be like, "Oh, I'm gonna take the garbage out." Okay, you do that. So I'm looking at my notes because I jot down notes for Chantal. The last time we went live was like right around my birthday back in September. So she did a live on September 14th. First and foremost, okay, we all know that Chantal claims to be an English major. Little pet peeve of mine here, right? She's so smart. She's smarter than everybody. She's the smartest cat in the room. And during this live stream, she keeps saying, I often. I often this, I often that, right? She always pronounced the T. Here's the deal, Cupcake. Often is in the same category as like whistle, hustle, bristle, bustle, castle. The T is silent. Yes, it comes from oftward, or the same root where you used to pronounce the T, but back like in the 16th century, Queen Elizabeth pronounced it often. She had dropped the T, and because of that, it was not only fashionable, but it's what you did, so the T got dropped from that pronunciation 500 years ago. So, this is something that people that speak basic English learn at a very young age. And so, for somebody that claims to be an English major, to be pronouncing it often is just once again showing her absolute uneducated ignorance. Okay, rant over, but it drives me crazy. Don't come on and I'll get to the word she forgets and the words that she's superfluously redundant sometimes, or she uses a big word and you're like, is that what you meant? And you realize she's trying to use a big word, she's searching for said big word, but she uses the wrong word. Why? Because she is not that smart. you know she's manipulative, not smart. So yeah, Chantal often is like castle. It's a silent T. English 101 stuff, Cupcake. So sorry, guys. It drives me nuts. Am I a professional English speaker? No, I slaughter words all the time. But I don't claim to be an English major. But if I don't know how to use a word, I would suggest starting a commonplace book. This is what I do. If I'm reading something and I see, let's see if I miss anybody. Hey, Celebrity Juicer. I said hi to Frosty, Puppy Breath, Wookie Lover. Okay. But if I come across a word and I don't immediately know, like I cannot verbalize the definition, I immediately stop what I'm reading. I write down the word. I immediately look up the definition. I write down the definition, and then I have to use that word one time within the next 7 days. That is a rule I've set for myself. I do it. It works. I have an okay vocabulary. I'm from a small town in Alaska. I got kicked out of high school. When I got to college, I somehow went to college. I didn't even have any history, no math. The only math I had one algebra class, and because I ran cross country, all I had to do was grade papers for the teacher. I had no math, and so when you're going to get a Bachelor of Science in biology, there is a metric fuck ton of math you need to know. So let's say I struggled, but it's not that hard. You just got to admit you don't know everything and go from there. So I don't even know where I was going with that. I'm not trying to power level on Chantal. It's just irritating, you know? Just admit you're a dumbass like the rest of us do and move on with your day. And stop telling people you're an English major because you're not. You speak the English language on a very basic level. I'll give you that, you know? Sorry. Let me get this cut up and then I'll look at chat. So, yeah, so on September 14th was when she did the live. It was that first live in the dark. Um, and then the next day she uploaded the Thai Halal anxiety in Bangkok video. And so for that one, because then the next video they did was they were back in Pattaya. So it was obviously an old video, and she was talking about, oh, her anxiety this and her anxiety that. And it's like, Chantal, it's not anxiety in a diagnosable sense. It's your discomfort because people in Thailand will stop, they will stare, they will point, they will laugh, and they will take photos. You were forewarned of this, and you insisted that you were comfortable. So, are you uncomfortable? Yeah, I believe it, because the majority of the people seem to give zero fucks and are snapping photos. You can't blame them. You eat more in a day than probably a family of 5 eats in 2 weeks over there. I'm hearing something in my. Oh, okay. So yeah, everybody's chatting about Breezy. Yeah, I heard about that. Is there anybody I didn't say hi to? If not, hey, Mindful Editor, good to see you. Hey, Bebop. So anyway, um, so yeah, so she did that live in the dark. The next day did the halal anxiety in Bangkok, where she overdubbed, how her anxiety was so bad, and because it was so busy when it was clearly not busy. It was just hot. She was uncomfortable. It was an old vlog. That was obvious. And in this, then, and immediately preceding that, the live that she did, she was high as balls. That was the first time we saw her high on stream. And then she claimed that she had the light off because of the anxiety. Here's what I think happened is she knew she was high, or she knew she was going to get high and she was going to go live. And so she pulled out some old footage because she overdubbed it, telling us it was old footage from Bangkok, even though they weren't there. I think that she knew she was going to get high because she'd gotten whatever she'd gotten. And so she overdubbed this older footage Thai halal video talking about the anxiety. My anxiety was so bad, even though, it was just standard Chantal. So that way she'd already set up the narrative. So when she went live later, which she did, it was dark and she claimed it was anxiety. I'm not buying it. I don't think so too. I think this was all manipulative. She used old footage. She overdubbed it, talking about the anxiety during the day. And it was all just so she could come on and rather than say, oh, I'm just tired or jet lagged or, not enough B12 or whatever, she could come on and claim, oh, it was anxiety. And it was anxiety because I just uploaded a video, which I definitely streamed today or I definitely filmed today and just edited. No, not buying it. Yeah, yeah, same Frosty. Like, do you. If you want to be high as giraffe balls, go for it. Stop lying. Because, first and foremost, there's a lot of people in this community that, have had issues with things. And let's just say a player knows a player and a player can't play a player, okay? So, Chantal, shut up. It's not anxiety. You're not tired. I know what high as balls looks like. And it's perfectly legal there, but don't come on and lie about it and act like a smug, sanctimonious fuck while you're sitting there high as hell, LARPing as a pious Muslim woman. It's irritating at this point. Like, it's not even entertaining. You're supposed to be my entertainment, and I'm finding you irritating. Like the last season of Game of Thrones. I was into Game of Thrones, but I'll tell you what, by season 8, I was throwing shit at my TV. I was so mad. Hey, Camps. Yes, it is split pea. The rain made my eyes red. Yeah, right, Frosty? Please. The foodie community post. Oh, this stupid little heart's in the way. So she was sharing Amber Shore. Oh, you guys are talking about Breezy still. Yeah, I don't watch Breezy, I have opinions on that. I don't need to go into that here. It's just, you know. I'm a firm believer. Practice what you preach. And don't be a sanctimonious fuck yourself. Just my thoughts, but no judgment. I really honestly don't care. Okay, so about a cup and this onion needs to get used up. So let's see. Carrot juice or nothing. So let's see, what was I talking about? Yeah, so she's getting high and go for it. I don't care. Stop lying. Stop, because the vlog that she did right about that, she was talking about, I do a lot of self-help reading and or the life she did before, I like buffets and talking about other people just shows low intelligence, and I do feel ashamed when I do it. Shut up. She read some bullet points before the live, spewed some stuff. And like I said, um, there's an ex-president who wrote a book that said that if you say things with confidence and you say them 3 times in a row with confidence, you'd be surprised you can get the majority of the people to believe it's the truth. So I think Chantal is a firm believer that she keeps stating these inaccurate, disingenuous things that this knife is too small, bigger knife. That I'm going to stand up because it just hurts to sit, but I'm too tall, so you're not going to maybe not see my head, but you'll hear me rant. Is my volume still good, everybody? Hey, Bolly. Oh, thanks, Bolly. It's I was just kind of complaining. Mr. Grebos, he's been gone fishing a lot lately, and I'm just to the point where, you know, time to time to be a responsible adult for a day or two. Okay, so yeah, Chantal tile low intelligent people talk about other people. Really? Okay, well, pot calling the kettle black. And then the next vlog she does after the setting up the anxiety, then being high as balls in the live stream, then the next uh, vlog she uploads is once again immediately back in Pattaya. So like I said, because that's where she was the whole time. That's where she was high initially, but she was using old footage to set up the narrative. Um, let's see, and that was the day that they went to the Temple of Truth and the Tiger place. Salad bought the hat probably the same day. So, because there was I can't remember the next time whether in Pattaya. I think they went to the Tiger place first. Either way, it's like I made a note that they'd obviously done two outings on one day. Um, oh, and I did make a note to myself that if you're looking at Chantal's, and I'm trying to get my iPad to update, but if you look at her undercaps, if you zoom in, those undercaps and those, the inner hijab scuba Steve thing she wears, the cotton ones are so pilled and in such poor condition. I mean, they really, really, even with all her filters, they look really bad if you zoom in. I can only imagine how bad they look in real life because they're just not being cared for. They're being sweated. I'm sure they get rinsed out occasionally, and they're just really pilled. And when you get something that's black that's got like a polyester blend in it, like a hoodie, and it gets pills all over it, and it just looks terrible. Yeah, I made a note of that clear back on September 14th. Um, and everybody's saying they don't think she had a boil. Uh, maybe she did, maybe she didn't. It was probably a lie to go try to get a physical. You know, let's see. But I will say for when they were going I did make a note. So when they were going to that Temple of Truth, okay, here's where I need to pull out my photos. Hold on. I don't know that if this iPad is even charged. Oh, it's only at 21%, but it died. I'll show you. I made a note of it. I might not be able to go through all the photos I want to just because, my God, so much cringe. Where's the photo? Oh, right here. So let me see if this one's a little better. So if you look at this, on September 14th, when they went to the Temple of Truth, can you guys see that okay? You see, they have rows of three. Here, let me turn this light off and turn the brightness down on this to see if that helps a little. So everybody can visualize what I'm smack talking about. Okay, let's see if this is. So you see how in the van, let's see, it has rows of three. And you notice that Chantal's is pushed so much further back. Like she is shoved back as far as she can to the point where the person in the row behind her is probably miserable. Yet, mind you, this woman is 5'1". She is about this tall. And she has this seat pushed back to the maximum it can go. I can only imagine, if the person behind her or if they had to, it shows how incredibly massive she is. I just made a note of that it was just, scooted back as far as it can go. I question if anybody could even, because, the rows were like three chairs. Chantal's was two chairs, and hers was completely back. And then the people in the back row, I felt bad for them. Yeah, the stink puss. And so, yeah, so I felt if there was somebody in the seat behind her, I felt sorry for her. Um, Oh, yeah, and then I made a note that Chantal, while filming in the Temple of Truth, made her firm belief statement on why she's not going to discuss other religions, and then starts discussing the other deities and touching the idolatry. Like literally, she is hanging on these statues, which are idolatry, according to, the Abrahamic religions, which she is supposedly part of. And she had already done a voiceover how she wasn't going to discuss other religions because of her own personal religious beliefs, and then proceeds to talk about deities and manhandle the idols. Awesome hypocrisy, Chantal. Keep it up, man. Here's your sign. Okay, hold on. I gotta get these onions chopped up because they're killing me. My eyes are watering. So I gotta stop ranting and get the onions cut up for a minute. Chat amongst yourselves. I am making a huge mess. I need to get these. I need to get these sweating though, because I don't have a candle going to help with the oils that are coming up on these onions. And oh my god! And I hate onions anyway, but Mr. Greba likes them, so they're not too bad if I sweat them down. They get sweet. The starch in them, the carbohydrates, it caramelizes, and then they're fine. It's just not an onion person. All right. I am making an absolute mess. You can't see, thank God. So, all right, get this here. So about a cup of onions. I might have a little more than that cut up. You know what? It is what it is. I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. So, let's see what chat says. Oh, hey, Oranges Porranges, good to see you. Untreated syphilis. Herpes syphaganates, as we used to call it in high school. Yeah, probably not politically correct, but let's call a spade here, right? Okay, hold on. Okay, is my volume still okay? Because I have one of those kind of convection stoves, and they're electromagnetic, and they interfere with the Bluetooth on my headphones. So let me know if I'm cutting out or if you can't hear me or something. I might have to switch options. So I'm throwing some oil in the pan because I need to sweat down these onions before they kill me. Good God. Yeah, they're kind of big, but they're going to cook down, so it's no big deal. Cup and a half, whatever floats your boat. It was basically 3/4 of a medium onion. There you go. Use any of those measurements, it's fine. I need to get, let's see, I got the celery done. I need to get carrots cut up too. I gotta plug I'm gonna plug this other iPad back in just because I know I'm gonna want to pull up another photo, but like the battery in this thing is seriously low. This was, as usual, not well planned, spur of the moment live. What's new, right? Oh, good. Thank you, Grateful Life. Hey, Bebop. Thank you, Bebop. I'm putting this up. So, yeah, I actually am not, I don't have any more ham. I'm going to do split pea soup. And this I'm going to use, I have some reduced salt organic chicken broth I need to use up, and it adds a really nice base to it, and Mr. Grebo really likes it, and so, and I told him he doesn't have to have meat with every single meal, so I'm trying to keep him from having another heart attack. He's not overweight or anything, but yeah, he about dropped. In her 40s, it's not a good thing. All right. I'm gonna cover this. I need to find the lid for this too. I need to get the let me get the celery in here too. Yeah, Skinny, it was. It was pretty. There just aren't words to describe. I said it. I think I've said it before. Where I physically start. I didn't physically start a fight, but I verbally started a fight with him because he was ignoring me. And then I got so mad, I went like in the bedroom and called his dad at 2 a.m. And woke his dad up and said, "You need to talk to your son. There is a fucking problem." And Mr. Grebo stormed out and stuff. And apparently his dad got a hold of him. And then he went to a clinic, which sent him by ambulance directly to a hospital. And by the time he called me, they were sending him by ambulance into like the main hospital center down in Portland. It was just like, because he was actively having a heart attack at that point. And it was just like, I spent many years in the back of an ambulance. I've got plenty of medical training. I know what I'm talking about. So yeah, it was super scary, super frustrating. And then I spent 7 days sleeping, and it was right before the coof hit too. Like literally, we got him out of the cardiac unit, and then like everything went into lockdown. So I got to stay there with him the whole time and everything. And had it been a week later, that would have been all she wrote. So very lucky. And he'd never been sick a day in his life, never been nothing. So let's just say it got his attention. Now, now at least he listens to me. He throws a big fit and storms off, but then he does what I say because he realizes, like, I'm just trying to keep him around for a few more years. Let's see. Hey, Ruthie, good to see you. So let's see. I'm going to let this sweat down and then I will continue to. I'm going to rinse these because, God, the onion. I'm not a white onion person because they're just so strong. I'm more. If I'm going to cook with onions, I prefer red onions, but I got to use what we got. And we've got white onions. So, waste not, want not. So let's see so the truth thing. Let's say I discussed her touching the idolatry and discussing the deities after being a complete and total hypocrite. And then on 9/14, we got that there was the pizza mukbang, or maybe it was the next day, the 15th. I can't remember. We got our pizza mukbang. She was like, and everybody was saying it was feeder content. Here's my thought on the feeder content. I honestly believe that Chantal is not getting paid to do feeder content. And here's why. Don't you remember back when she was doing OnlyFans? That was one of the main reasons she quit. Because she kind of told on herself, she said, because people ask you to do things, they want to send you money to do things. And she said that, she's the kind of person, as soon as somebody tells her to do something, she automatically wants to do the opposite. She did not like that. She didn't, even if there was money attached to the request, you know. It's surprising that she's doing a few cameos, but I think she's really picking and choosing amongst the other, she calls us basement dwelling weirdos. Well, right back at you, Buttercup. Bunch of basement dwelling weirdos just like her, the all two or three people that have requested cameos. But here's what I think is going on with the feeder content. I don't think Chantal is getting paid by feeders. I think she wants people to think she's making money off feeders because so many people are speculating about it and everybody's hammering so hard on the feeder content and all that stuff. I think she's leaning into it because it makes her feel powerful and it makes her feel like, yeah, I'm getting paid for this. I don't think she's getting paid for it. I don't think, not for a second. That's just what I think. Hey Susie, welcome. So that's just where I'm at that. Like, I think she would I think at this point she's so broke that she would do feeder content. So maybe occasionally she gets a request or something, but I don't think she's getting, as many requests as people think, because yeah, that's just kind of where I'm at. Like, I'm sure occasionally some weirdo asks, and but overall, I think she likes everybody to think she's making bank doing that, but I don't think that's so much. So, so yeah, I think it's more of an act than anything. And then on 9/19, it was a Tuesday. She did the oh, and she had the styrofoam tray, the low key raid she did. Um, and she was trying to talk about, leaving her cats when she left Canada, and oh, I wasn't in my right mind, and when she talked about leaving the cats, and let's see, do you like why does it give an eating community permission? Oh yeah, and then so in this one, her low key rate, she's talking about like how does like basically like, I'm the Star Girl world, and what gives you the right to continually talk about the same two people? I love how she has no contact with Amber Lynn Reed. They're not, nothing. But whenever there's problems or she needs to discuss something instead, I feel this way. I want this. I'm saying this. It's always the royal we. You know what I mean? We, as if she's speaking for the whole community. We addicts. We overweight women, we newly reverted Muslims. She just makes it this group thing. Like she's all of a sudden, like we all took a vote and said, oh, yes, Chantal, please go up there and speak on behalf of all addicts because you obviously know. Psst, get the fuck out of here. No. So, yeah, she invokes the royal we in that one during her low key rage, but she didn't really say anything overall. And then after that came the Shisha vlog where she shared, their favorite lemon mint, our favorite. Um, And then she immediately says, like, oh, but I didn't have that much, and it's like right there, just the amount of coping that she tries to do. So she immediately goes into, oh, but I didn't have that much. And, for whatever reason, it didn't, I know I have asthma, but the shisha doesn't really bother my asthma. Maybe it's because it's through a water pipe and I only took a few puffs, and you know me and blah, blah, blah. So once again, there she is being disingenuous, and lying to her audience, even though everybody can clearly see. So let me get this straight. You have asthma and can't breathe whenever you don't want to do something, but you can smoke shisha and you can continue to eat all that junk food and not lose any weight. It's like, I think Chantal has recreational asthma. I don't even know if it's asthma. The blood clots, I'm going to guess the idiopathic blood clots are probably because of her weight, and she's done nothing but put on more weight with her terrible diet. So I don't know if it's, I'm sure, I don't think puffers, basically, she's just using glorified speed to open up her airways, So that's my thoughts on that. So yeah, you know me. Let's see. Oh, and then on September 21st came the Poutine vlog, right next to the dispensary. If you don't know what a dispensary is, then just ignore this next few minutes of my rant. So next to the dispensary, she goes and does that poutine log. And the way she was eating that poutine, well, first of all, when she went open the door, like a complete total dumbass, and lets a dog into a restaurant. Like, it's so cringe. I mean, there's a reason why people in Asia and Europe and stuff hate North Americans, and Chantal is the classic reason why people hate people from North America. The fat, stupid, inconsiderate, entitled, smug, holier than thou bullshit, letting a dog into a restaurant. Oh my God. It's like, too bad somebody other Westerner wasn't there that couldn't just lay into her in English, God, it was so bad. And then and then she tried to act like her and Salad just loved the poutine. I think it was adequate, but the way she was acting, she did not dig into it. There was no eye rolling, and this was before the terms of service changed. So I think it was good enough, and I think it filled a hole. I don't think Salad liked it, and Chantal was not overly impressed. It did a thing, but we just didn't get her O face the way we normally get when she eats something that she really wants, where and her eyes roll back in her head like a great white shark. So yeah, I mean, it was poutine, and it was Western, fatty food that she wanted. And it probably was the best you could find at Bangkok. But I read one of the translations, that one of the notes said the fries and the curds were good, but the gravy wasn't that good. And so, yeah, I don't think it was overly. Hey, Princess Alyssa. Hey, Crab Apple. Sorry, I'm just. Hey, Alexi. Good to see you. Oh, hi, Crab Apple. So, yeah. Explain what she does. Let's see. The love it. So yeah, I don't think Salad. I think Salad wanted less than nothing to do with that poutine, or however she changes how she says it all the time. Um, and I keep repeating myself. I have nothing else to say than it filled a hole. She ate it, but it was not the best poutine, however you want to say it, that she's had. I think she got to eat hers. I think she got to eat salads, and I don't think that salad that they had sitting on the table, it didn't look like it got touched at all. Oh, and then when she was talking about, she was saying afterwards that the atmosphere in that restaurant, the atmosphere, it was so Canadian. What the fuck is Canadian sitting in 90% humidity, 100-degree heat in Bangkok or Pattaya? Just because they have like a Canadian poster, but what about that gave you the ambiance of Canada? Because she was talking about that, that it was just almost a home away from home. Really? That was a home away from home, for Canada, about as much as oh, what was that movie they supposedly, it was set in Alaska, Jesus, and it wasn't even set in Alaska. It was set, like, I think they used like Arizona Indians. There was nothing authentic about it. So for her to say that was just, once again, just her talking to talk. and that sugary sweet voice she does, and it's just irritating. Hey Alexi, I'm making, hey Capone Boxer, poutine. I am making split pea soup. I'm sweating down onions and the celery right now. I'm going to throw the carrots in. I don't want to turn the fan on because then it'll get loud and then you guys won't be able to hear me yelling about stupid things. So yeah, the way she was eating, uh, it was so embarrassing. Hold on a minute, it's Mr. Grebo. I'm on live, hello. Okay. So we have about 50 minutes left. Can you guys still hear me? He's decided to come home, so. Um, so the next one she was talking about, let's see, then it was a live or something she was doing. I don't have really good notes, but she was talking about, she couldn't it was a live she was doing. She couldn't remember the word for empathetic. She was trying to tell everybody how empathetic she was, where I really feel what other people feel. Oh, what's that word? What's that word? It's empathetic, Chantal. And what I know is that people that are actually empathetic, I don't ever hear them tell other people how empathetic they are. You just know they are. So it's one of those, methinks the lady doth protest too much, but if you are going to protest, make sure you at least know the word of the thing that you're pretending to be. Just a thought. Once again, basic English. And then she was talking about, she switched the topic over to, she was talking about serial killers, and I don't know, she goes, I don't understand these psychotic serial killers that go home and eat a meal with their wives because they don't care. So this was when she was on a little conversation about serial killers, like she does, because oh so pleasant for a pious Muslim woman to be discussing serial killers. But she talks about them being psychotic. No, Chantal, once again, this is some basic English. The word you were looking for was psychopath serial killers. Somebody that is psychotic is somebody that has had an emotional and mental break with actual reality. They are extremely, extremely ill. That's psychotic. You are not even relating to outside reality. They aren't serial killers. They tend to be hospitalized. The word you were looking for was psychopath. Yes, you said psychotic. The one you're looking for is psychopath. They kind of have the same root, but path is in pathology, psycho is in mind. But that is actually like a mental, a psychopath is like a mental disorder where you have like abnormal behaviors that tend to be kind of violent and socially inappropriate and violent. So once again, it was just a really basic English word that she mixed up with another word. I think I've already mentioned this about 5,000 times in this live that I really question her reading abilities and her actual IQ, and you can be just, yeah, I think she has a very sheltered life. I think I personally think, and this is going to be me but just being kind of shitty for a minute, I think apple doesn't fall far from the tree, and when you're a big fish in a little pond, you might seem like the smartest motherfucker in the room, but no, it's just the constant screwing up of words. Just, once again, basic English words that she can't get right. So, let's see. Oh, and then let me check chat. Hey, holy moly. Yes, I have my tiny foodie. I don't watch Yo Mama Capone Boxer. I have not. I haven't seen anything. Hey, Jocelyn. Mom, good to see you. What's sad? Oh, what am I cooking tonight? I'm making split pea soup, but I'm gonna have to get off in about 45 minutes because Mr. Grebo's decided to come home from work early. So we're gonna have to cut it short. So I will rant about. I'm going to hurry up. In fact, I'll probably just focus on. So then she goes live, and then on September 23rd, she went live twice in like just a few hours and threw a vlog in there too. But she was in her black scuba Steve, outfit, and she was high, high, and she was talking about, oh, I'm not afraid of anyone physically, and she had that really high pitched, sugary, sweet voice being super fake. It was so annoying. And then here's what got me. She started saying, because I think she thinks, or I think she's hoping to, to you know how remember how BBJ was like an 18-year-old cat, and suddenly BBJ was a 19-year-old cat, then a 20-year-old cat, then a 21-year-old cat, then a 22-year-old cat. Once again, where Chantal was talking about, oh, I haven't had TV in so long. Back when I had HBO, it was like $20. With inflation, it's probably $200. Trying to give the impression that it had been like a decade and a half or 2 decades since she'd had TV. No, it's just her once again exaggerating, trying to put distance between her old self and her new self. Um, where she, and another example of that is, I'm going to flip through, hold on. I've got so much stuff to talk about. Do you guys want me to go in order? Or do you want me to try to group things together? Or just do you want me to start hitting and I'll go live again soon and hit the newer stuff I made notes on? Let me know. Hey, S. Hagen, good to see you. Thank you. Yeah, my ranting, yeah. Crab apples, be careful with the peas. Yeah, I will. Okay, I gotta sweat these down. So, but yeah, this is once again her trying to put some distance. It was like later on, I've got notes on it where she was talking about a couple years ago, I was in an abusive relationship. No, Chantal, as of a year ago, you were still actively chasing a crackhead. Uh, and so it wasn't a couple years ago. It wasn't 3 or 4 years ago. It was basically 365 days ago. You were still chasing the crackhead. So once again, Chantal being disingenuous with her words. Oh, the last time I had HBO, it was like $20. She likes to distance herself from her past because suddenly she's been reinvented. Here's what I know. Change takes time. And to get time takes time. You can't say, typical like addict behavior, which Chantal very much is. Well, the hedonistic behavior. I'm not, Chantal is hedonistic. She has no impulse control. She wants what she wants and she wants it right now. And if I don't have it by Friday, I'm going to die. That's kind of how she operates, right? So she needs to invent time so that way she can pretend that she's taken the time that it takes to actively change, because you don't act the way Chantal acts day in and day out for days, weeks, months, and years on end, and then suddenly 365 days later, you're a new person. That's bullshit. It's not how it works. So once again, disingenuous. Let's see, like so the whole acting like it's been years. Oh, and then she would start talking about the 90-Day Fiance and talking about how bad the jealous woman is in the show, but I was never that bad. And then she actually said, well, in Muslim culture, Chantal, you are not Muslim. Like I don't know I don't know how to get that through your thick inbred skull. You are not Muslim, okay? You are an middle-aged, desperate, lonely, entitled Western woman LARPing as a pious Muslim woman, and it's insulting to their culture. It's insulting to their religion. It's gross. It's just gross. It really is, man. And I know you're not supposed to get mad at your entertainment, but once again, it's like season 8 of Game of Thrones. I was pretty irritated with it, It's kind of how I am with Chantal this week. So I'm sure by next week I'll be back to her being entertaining. But yeah, so when she's talking about the jealous woman, and then she said, "Oh, well, in my past, I cheated." She cheated on BB a couple times. She cheated on Pete's. You know what I mean? Like, if that's all Chantal has ever been is a stalker, a crazy jealous woman, and a cheater. So I like, well, in my past. No, not in your past. It's who you currently are. You're just pretending to be something else because you currently have uh, a paid for scammer or a scammer that you're paying for who is sticking around because he wants what he wants. And I don't know if he's like some kind of sped or what, but yeah, I know it's not an okay term to use, but whatever. Um, Gen X, you know. Um, but it's like he's just sticking around. It's like two scammers scamming each other, man. I have zero sympathy for Tall Pete's. I really have no sympathy for him. He deserves everything he gets, and back at Chantal. But yeah, to her to say she grew out of that a couple years ago. I was in a toxic relationship. No, no lies. Yeah, and Chantal during that live kept doing that. You know where she starts picking at her mouth because she gets those little white cotton ball specs because she's got dry mouth because she's actively baked. Yeah, she was doing that during the whole thing. And then she starts, oh, I'm going to do good cooking when I get back to Kuwait and blah, blah, blah. You know, and I think at this point they're starting to have some problems with the visa thing because they're starting to get kind of sketchy. And the salad brought donuts home, and, you know, it's the best thing I've eaten since being here. She's talking about eating these junk food. And then the next day she does the pasta mukbang, literally for four people. It was that huge portions. Um, and then she was saying, and oh, and roll it back to the earlier live she's doing. Somebody said she goes, "Oh, am I tired? No, no, I'm just really, really relaxed." No, once again, like I said, you were high. And then the pasta mukbang for four people. Oh, and then she brought up here once again. Here's how Chantal likes to rewrite history. Is she brought up that once again? She brought up that stupid, you know, the babysitter. She, you know, stole some money from the babysitter and went and bought some KFC. We've heard this story like 1,000 times, but suddenly, during the, you know, this earlier Starbucks Bees live, which she did earlier than the stoned one I'm talking about. So these are two lives in the same day because there was like back to back lives, and there was a pasta for four mukbang, and I can't be bothered to keep it in order because it's just a clusterfuck. But she brought up the KFC thing, and suddenly she claimed it was like $300 or $400 she had stolen. Really, this $300 or $400 is probably on par with BBJ being 22 years old, her having been in a toxic relationship 2, 3, 4 years ago, her not having cheated for years and years. Oh, and you know, the last time I had HBO 2 decades ago. It's in the same realm of um, possibilities, right? It's a bunch of bullshit. It's her being disingenuous. So that's where I'm at with that. You know, I think she just embellished the story because she doesn't have anything interesting to say. Chantal's even said, no, I don't have any interest. No, I don't have any hobbies. So by her own admission, man, I'm just throwing carrots everywhere. I'm not looking at chat. Hopefully I said hi to everybody. Hey, yarn enthusiast. Jet lag, right? Yeah, yeah, Capone. Um, Yeah, she's such a glutton. So, but it's just, you know, standard Chantal trying to rewrite history. And it's like, I think it's because she's so impulsive and so spur of the moment that she's actually drank her own Kool-Aid at this point. Like she believes, well, I mean, she knows it's not true, but like any good, you know, asshole that doesn't want to change the behavior, she chooses to believe what she says. If I said it, it's the truth. You know, my perception, my reality. Well, there's your reality, and then there's the reality. And the truth is not the same as your reality. So, I want to look those words up. I don't know if I really want to keep rushing through this because I do have a bunch more stuff to say. Um, I guess I don't need to cover it all. I could do another live soon. I guess I could go. I don't know. What do you guys think? Not a rage, not a smoker. Hey, Layla G. Hello. Hey, Pernilla. Good to see you. Yeah. So, but that pasta mukbang she did was so much pasta. She wasn't even chewing it. She was literally inhaling it. You know. Um, let's see. And I already talked about that. Pretending she, yeah. I said talked about her pretending she has feeders. Let's see. Oh, and then there was the 925, the food market live. We've never been apart. That was a lie, Chantal. So, we all know Salad's constantly going out without her. And then she says in that live, where she went down to get the and she said, I've not gone out with him. That's not true. Because, it's like they've been apart plenty. It's just, her skin is looking terrible as of September 25th. Um, and when she's eating and in that market life she was making, remember she was spilling food all over herself. I mean, hold on. It was so cringe. I mean, you, what's it called? Fremdscham. It's so you know what Schadenfreude is, right? That's where you get kind of that haha gleeful feeling at somebody else's misfortune. Well, the Germans have another word called Fremdscham, right? And that's where you get like it's cringe. It's secondhand embarrassment where somebody's doing something that is so that you yourself are embarrassed. And I was embarrassed watching that. I was watching it on a clip channel, but I had to physically stop the video a few times because I was so uncomfortable watching it. Like, was anybody else cringing as hard as I was? I'm trying to see. Like, yeah, I have here's the photos. So on the 25th, remember Salad wasn't around and she was like, look, she has got food on her fingers. She had food on her face. She had food spilling down the front of her. Like, does anybody else remember that? It was horrifying. She took a bite of something and it was like gushing out of her mouth. It was just, and this was in public. Oh my God. I mean, I don't know how you feel, but I can tell you, oh, hey, Killjoy, welcome. I can tell you what, if I had a toddler eating that way, don't you remember you get the little squeeze on the leg and the look across the table? Just wait till we get to the car. And you straighten up real quick because you knew you were going to die when you got back to the car. Like, and I've seen, and she eats like that in front of her family. And and it's just like, oh, I don't have words. That's not a common occurrence, but this was horrifying. Um, let's see. Let's see. Being stirred. Yeah, she was definitely. Yeah, then she had the Nutella on her hands, and she was like licking it, and it was just. Oh my God. Yeah. Here was another thing she was eating a little bit later on. Dropped some more on the front of her, and then let me see if I got any Nutella finger shots. Oh yeah, right here. She wiping her face. She's sweating all over the place. Nutella all over her hands. Ugh. I said hi to Killjoy. Hey, Tink Frog. Yep, she's still in Thailand. I personally think she's stuck there. I think it's a visa issue, and I think she's stuck there. Um, let's see. There were a lot of people, and yeah, and she was sweating profusely, and people were staring at her too. I mean, she was making quite the spectacle of herself. It was, yeah, it's not very often I get secondhand cringe, but oh my God. Anybody remember that show, Curb Your Enthusiasm, where sometimes, I think his name was Larry, was just being so that I would have to pause the show and walk away because it was horrifying. That's how I felt about this live with Chantel. Oh my God. Hold on, I'm trying to sweat this stuff down. It's looking pretty sweated down. I think I'm going to I'll turn it off. I know I need to get the split pea soup going, but I kind of want to get my ranting over too because now Mr. Grebos screwed it up for us. Because once again, who cares what Grebo's doing, right? As long as he's happy. Frustrated with him today. It'll be fine by tomorrow. Um. So yeah, I think she's stuck in Thailand. Oh, and then she says too. So I think she's stuck in Thailand. And then she made the laundry comment like that she's washing things in the sink. I don't think she's washing anything. And then she says, "Oh, travelers have to deal with immigration." So why would you say, "Oh, travelers have to deal with immigration"? No, not really. You get a traveler visa and it's over with. And so the way she said it, once again, I think, here's what I know about Chantal. Number one, Chantal lives. Um, from Pranilla. Sorry, I'm complaining about Mr. Grebo. It's just gets super frustrated with him because he gets, he didn't have to go fishing for 12 hours this morning, but he chose to. So here's what I know. Chantal lies. And the second thing, like Chantal's always claiming, oh, this and that. Like not too long ago, she was claiming like she got a whole total new phone, doesn't have access to anything. But then she talks about, oh, I just got into this and that file. So which is it? Did you get rid of your phone and you lost all messages and everything, or do you still have the phone? And number two, no receipts means it didn't happen with Chantal. Because trust and believe, if Chantal had something she could show to prove the thing she's talking about, she would, but she doesn't have the receipts, so it's a lie. It's BS, right? Men can't live with him, can't bury him in the garden, right? He'll probably come home and like bring, he'll be just fine. I'm just irritated because I literally called him and said, hey, I want to go live. Oh yeah, I'm not gonna be home till midnight, no problem. I said, are you sure? Are you sure? Check with dude you were. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. You heard the phone call. Oh, oops. Yeah. So, um, oh, yeah, and then she was talking about too, like she was trying to show us. She posted some pictures of old pictures of Sam, trying to claim that they were current. Oh, he's doing so well. But she also claimed that she'd been getting an email that called her a "See you next Tuesday," right? Um, and I'm like, so you can post photos of Sam, which you supposedly got, but you can't show a screenshot of this supposed email you got that was calling you a "See you next Tuesday." Once again, I think it's just her trying to cause chaos for drama. I don't think she got that email because I think if she did, she would post it and she would rage about it because we've all seen her do it 1,000 times. I don't think it happened. I think people say terrible things to her. I don't think she got that specific email on that day. I just don't. She's probably referring back to what I'm sure she's gotten one like that. But once again, she's reaching into the past, pulling the information from back there and bringing it to the present while also simultaneously trying to distance herself. It's been several years since I've been that person. Pick a lane. Finger guns. Who am I? Um, oh, and then she said, I'm keeping my immigration status personal, which means, yeah, she's definitely stuck. Definitely stuck in Thailand. And it goes a month and a half with no cheese. And then she said something about needing to go a month and a half with no cheese, which at that point, it's like she's almost telling on herself, like, you're going to be there longer. Um, why is everyone concerned about Kuwait? There's so many other countries we can live in if we had to. She said that. Why is everybody so concerned about Kuwait? There's so many other countries we can live in if we had to. Who says things like that? Like not once during this conversation would I be like, like, well, who cares if I can't live in the United States? Or who cares if I can't, there's so many other countries I could live in. It's not a normal statement made by a normal person. That is a statement made by a person that is bothered at this point because it sounds like there's some immigration problems. Um, and she's doing a self cope, like, no, I can deal with this. I can live wherever I want. Sure. Sure, Jen. Um, let's see. Boop, boop, boop. I'm kind of bombing through these. I'm just trying to bomb through these so we can wrap it up. So I think she's stuck. And then there was the tiny halal vlog that she did today, um, where she said in the tiny halal vlog, first of all, she was really disappointed. She's like, oh, it was so little food and so expensive. No, actually, that was a normal portion of some of the stuff, and then a double portion of bread, and then that labna, it looked like labna or whatever it's called. It looked like a family sized dish of that. So once again, still overeating nearly 2,000 calories worth of food. Go see Sansa Cook's video. But to her, it was just nothing. It was a morsel. It was a snack. It was nothing. Like it didn't even register. But she was singing in that vlog. Oh, last February I moved to Kuwait, as if she's talking to all her newcomers. Last February. No, Chantal. Last February you did not move to Kuwait. This past February, as in February 2023, you moved to Kuwait. And by moved, I mean you basically abandoned all your responsibilities on a whim. You ditched your two cats with doing zero research, tried to starve one of them to death, just gave them away, and then just left. So um, I know that once again, that it's her being disingenuous with her words and trying to say, oh, last. And so, once again, trying to distance herself. Not even been, it's barely been a calendar year since you met this guy. So, no, it hasn't been a couple years. It wasn't last February you moved to Kuwait. You're still not moved in Kuwait. You're squatting in Kuwait. That's what's happening here. And then later on, she did that live, the hello live. And she said, oh, I know I'm weird. And I wrote this down. I was like, she said, I know I'm weird. And I'm all I can think is, no, Chantal, you're maladapted for dealing with general social niceties and adult interactions. You're not weird. Okay. So you stop claiming you're weird like it's a cute, quirky personality trait. You're not weird. You are maladapted. You have bad people skills. You are high all the time. You are stuck in your own delusions. You are entitled. You don't care about anybody but yourself. You're so incredibly self-centered that that's not weird. That is maladapted for participating in social niceties because you're so incredibly self-conscious, but so um arrogant. And we've went over the steps of arrogance here, that you're so arrogant that you think you're so much better than everybody else, and it's just this mess. So it's not weird, it's not quirky, it's not odd. Maladapted. Get some fucking therapy. Just a suggestion, because I don't see it getting any better for you without some serious help. Because you've been trying to do it on your own for a few years now and it's not working out. Just some thoughts. Let's see. Can actually physically squat, right? Well, the gravity, it's not just a good idea, Killjoy. It's the law. So, things go down. And everything that used to sit up here is now, I would imagine, like she cannot physically put her legs together. I don't, I think that's why she sits on the floor so she can splay her legs out. We've seen that she can't even really sit upright when they're in those tuk-tuks. She's like this because she can't bend anymore. She's almost like a can of Campbell's soup or Diet Pepsi. Like there's no bend in it. She's like this. Yes, a lot of coffee, maladapted. It's just, like I said, I'm sorry. Usually well, okay, no, that's not true. I am always disorganized. I never really plan these lives. I take great notes, but then I get all wound up and I go on a rant. And I don't know if it makes any sense, but I'm hoping that the people are here watch enough of chins that they know the vlogs I'm talking about. And, like I said, the little peekadillos, as she'd like to say they are. No, you're maladapted. These behaviors that we see time and time again. Um, and then I'm just trying to see because I'm gonna. Okay, I'll let you guys talk for a minute. I'm just trying to see if there's any other photos that I'm gonna die if I don't show you because my God, I take so many screenshots. It's just, and I'm really. When they were in that Temple of Truth, and I know I'm jumping around, but man, just she's getting huge, man. And those mics and the eating noises. It's like I didn't think it was possible. The quality of her videos is actually going down. Yikes. Um. Oh, but did you see in that the tiny halal vlog that she did? She put like a strawberry up, and then there was a heart. I personally think because there's like, why would she do that? I think oh yeah, here's the one where during that vlog she did today with the tiny portions. She said she actually had the ketchup packet stuck to her finger. But remember there was a strawberry that was put up and there was also a heart like blocking something kind of down here. I think it might have been a fly or something because there was cuts made too. I just the only thing I think of is maybe a fly landed on the plate and she didn't see it or something. And so that if you think about it, that's about where a fly would land if it was scoping out your food. So I'm wondering if it was a fly or something a couple times that ended up in the video and she was already chopping the video up. The video was so choppy, and you see Salad brought in like his peppers and like a grilled tomato and some like leftover rice, and she just like she was eating and she was talking about how expensive that food was. And it's like I think that they are extremely low on money And I think she's starting to get extremely stressed because, and just she's so food focused that I think she's starting to spin out. Tiny portion, right? That was enough food for an entire day. That was actually more calories. A sedentary 40-year-old woman needs maybe 15, 1600 calories, maybe. That was a solid 1900 calories, and that was being generous. So, once again, that was more calories than she needed for the entire day. And that didn't count the rice and the pepper and the grilled. No, she's not happy. Yeah, that's just it. Like everybody keeps saying, like, when's karma gonna get her? Like, that's how come I need to not get mad at her because she is actively living her own. And I know karma, anybody knows karma is what happens as you die, and the karma is what you get in your next life for how you acted in your last life. But let's just call this like current karma, okay? Western karma, and I think that the body she is stuck living in, regardless of, and I really think it's like when you see those circus performers that are spinning plates and they get to the point where they've got a bunch of plates spinning and they try to see how many they can get going. I think Chantal is nearly maxed out on spinning plates. She is one small ankle roll away from immobility. I honestly believe this. She's in the vlog they showed, earlier today when Salad and her were walking around and he was using that fan on her, when they went to that park and then uh got on the wrong boat, like Sansa said, and got on a commuter boat instead of the and it was like she was so incredibly uncomfortable while on that boat. Like you see the look on her face because she had to stand. She was so red. And then when they got off and the filming at the end was just like she was over it. She was done. She was red. She was mad. She was barely holding it together. And I think I agree with Bally. I think that's where she is with her life. Is she is just over it, man. And she's in a very hot, hot, hot place right now with a lot of humidity, and she is huge and she's outgrowing her clothes. And like I said, I have a couple really good friends that are from Thailand, and the pointing, the staring, it's gonna keep happening. Like they just, she's a freak of nature over there. She really is. That's how she's viewed, and people are just shocked. Oh no, you fell down your stairs? Thought you broke your neck. Oh yeah, yeah, Alex. Whew, I'm glad you're okay. Yeah, Chantal. Yeah, she was so mad she had to stand. Well, what do you expect when you get on? It's like getting on a commuter bus in New York at rush hour. It's every man for himself. They don't care if you're old, you're disabled, you're pregnant. It's like, no, this is not how it works. And if you choose to get, because rather than getting on the tourist boat, and spending the $5 per person, they wanted to spend 88 cents per person. Well, you get what you get. I honestly think that, especially Salad had boat's a boat, right? He doesn't know because he's from the desert. So any water is water and a boat's a boat. Um, Rumor has it that Allah, his friend, said, "Oh no, he's never been to Thailand." Anyway, I don't really pay much attention to that, but yeah, I think he wanted to go cheap. He wants to go cheap. Well, you get what you pay for. So if you're not willing to pay $5 for an all-day tourist boat, then stand on the commuter boat with the people that are actively living their lives in the city that they participate in on a daily basis. Sorry, not sorry. Um, yeah, I hope you feel better, Alex. I'm sorry you fell down the stairs. Nothing's worse than like where you trip or you do something and then your brain goes, uh-oh, and you do that split second, like, and you're like, okay, am I gonna have tuck and roll or I'm gonna catch myself? And then like you do it and then you're like, oh, here we go. Please God, don't let me break something. I hate that. It's the worst. Okay, so let's see. I'm gonna use 4 cups of the organic chicken broth because that's what I have that needs to get used up. And then yeah, it's still good. And then I'm going to use 4 cups of water. No, actually, I've got actually, I think I have one more box of this that I need to use up. So hold on. So, uno momento, please, guys. I'm gonna go see if I've got another one of these because, like, I make soup. I know you guys know this. I make soup when I need to rant and I need to use up vegetables and food. Talk amongst yourselves. Let me know if you can still hear me. I'm walking away with my headphones. I think you can still hear me. I'm in the other room. Let me know. Okay. What's the date on this? Oh yeah, that needs to get used. What's the date on this? Nope, this one needs to get used now. So yeah, I have another. I don't even know if you can hear me, and I'm over here talking to myself. So awesome. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, sometimes I just do 4 cups of chicken broth and then like 4 cups of water, but this really needs to get used up, so 8 cups. It's reduced salt, reduced sodium. It's organic, you know. Let's see what. Let me look at her. Pretty has given up on life. Yep, she probably has. Oh, good. Thanks, Bebop. I need to know that because, like, if I was saying, like, hey, I gotta use the bathroom, I do not need people hearing me, you know, whizzing. Because unlike Foodie, I don't think that is a good look. Um. Oh yeah, and then they in the live they did tonight, where Chantal was talking about being weird. They were both high. Like you could see when the the devil's lettuce hit. And I mean, Salad kept laughing, and she was in her eyes, and it's like I said, I don't care if you want to do that. Stop lying. Just stop lying about it. It's that simple. Um, okay, so I'm gonna turn this on about a 4, 5, you know, a low simmer. 2 cups of split peas. I have a big bulk bag of them. Mr. Grebo wanted them for the other day, and now I can't remember where he put them. So yeah, I'm gonna use these instead. Yeah, I know you're supposed to sort through these, but you know, in general, I've had pretty good luck with this particular brand in this kind of bag. I've not found not one rotten pea. The bulk ones, yeah, you want to sort through those, but these ones not so much. Yeah, everybody looks good. Can you imagine her in salad wheelchairs at the come? Oh my God, right? Yeah, I think. Yeah, it's curious. I'm gonna be curious to see what happens. Though is I think they're stuck in Thailand. I think they're very low on money. I mean, they just got paid, and already. Um. Oh, I didn't. I don't think I have any fresh garlic. That's okay. I'll use some garlic powder. Oh, hold on, my salt shaker is not cooperating. Um, let's see. I have garlic powder. I'll throw some garlic powder in because I don't have any fresh garlic, I don't think. Oh, I do. Well, it's still good, so I'll use it for something tomorrow. It's like I said, it's leftover soup. A little bit of garlic powder. Um, Turn it up a little bit. Get it boiling. So I'm gonna have to sign off. Um, It's Killjoy. There's nothing wrong. I love my rice cooker. I've had this rice cooker for quite a few years. Um, but I do it the same way that I do it everything. When I was in college, my best friend, she's Iranian. Her father actually was a fighter pilot for the Shah of Iran. When Iran, when the Ayatollah took over, like her family had to leave her for dead, and like 2 years later, they found her in a hospital in Germany. It was just this crazy story. My point is, she showed me how to make rice like the way they do in the Middle East, where you just touch the top of the rice in the water and you fill it up to that first knuckle right there, and it makes perfect rice every time, whether I'm using the rice cooker or on the stove. And I don't even measure anymore. I just eyeball what I want and I add the water that way. And does anybody else do it that way? Allegedly, Marty. Yeah, I don't watch that. I yeah, Persian rice is amazing. I want to eventually make some Horish bottom June. It's eggplant stew with curry and stuff. Um, you can use minced. You can use hamburger if you don't want to use, ground lamb. Because I'm not a lamb person. But yeah. So let's see. What did Killjoy say? I'm trying to. Chantal doesn't want to go back. No, Chantal doesn't want to go back to Canada. It's yeah, and Chantal thinks as long as she's not in Canada, she's winning. I I disagree. So okay, I'm gonna turn this off. I'm gonna turn this up and just to get it kind of boiling, and then I'll turn it back down. Oops. And then I'll sign off because Mr. Grebo he's gonna be coming in real soon. And so let's see. Well, I think I've covered everything I want to cover. I can't think of anything else. So, it's taught. It's the Asian way. Yeah, orange is, yeah. Bottom June, I know. It's good. I haven't watched him either. Crab also, what an apology. MCM. Make right, a show you rounded lady. I'm thinking good thoughts for her. Look how she glows. Yep. Ruth is literally what Chinese translates to. She's vindictive. Yeah, she's extremely vindictive. Um, so yeah, I think okay, I don't think I have any more ranting. I guess my takeaway message is uh learn some basic English, Chantal. Stop saying often. It's often. Once again, often. Same as whistle, castle, bristle, hustle. The T is silent. And in the word often, the T has been silent for 500 years since Queen Elizabeth chose to drop the T, and that's the standard of English. So if you want to be a proper speaker of English, use the English language appropriately. It's often. It does not make you sound more educated or emphasize the word when you say often. It makes you sound stupid. So stop. Yeah, and maybe get a dictionary because the way you misuse words, it's actually pretty entertaining. So don't get a dictionary. Don't change a bit. Just keep doing what you're doing. But please stop the lying. Okay, it's just so much better when you're just be an open train wreck. It's just easier. That's my 2 cents. But I'm gonna say good night to everybody. Let's see. Right, Helena, there's always more ranting. Teach saw how to say. Yeah, and I will say with this too is considering how long she's been moved to Kuwait, she does not know any Arabic. She doesn't know any Farsi. She doesn't know any Middle Eastern language at all. Like, and she doesn't know any Thai words. It's just she's like I said, she's actively getting dumber by the way she's living your life because especially when you start getting older and you add the high blood sugar which is going to start messing with things and all the fat and the unhealthy living and all the drugs and everything, it's kind of she's at a use it or lose it stage in her life and she's rapidly losing you know it. But by the way, her smugness today, I do honestly think because the way she was talking about it, she really well, pretty well at least you have a pretty face. Da, da, da. It's like no, she really does think she's prettier than 90% of the girls on the planet. Oh, sweetheart, no, no cupcake, no. You Chantal could be 120 pounds and she would still be one of the ugliest human beings I have ever known because she is just so vile and just she offers nothing back to the human race. And I'm not saying I'm some paragon, of virtue, but I am aware of my shortcomings and I try, right? And I don't lie about it. I try not to lie about it. Um, but Chantal just is one of those people her entire life she's just ramped up the taking and taking and taking and just you think about the amount of food she uses, the amount of waste she creates, the amount of energy it takes to sustain somebody like her. She doesn't pay her fair share. Um, yeah, I don't know. I want my entertainment to be more entertaining. Could you please comply, Chins? I'd appreciate it. So, yeah, thanks, Oranges Pornges. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Pernilla. Thank you, Holy Moly, for being a mod. Princess Alyssa, if you're here, thank you. Ruthie, Capone Boxer, thank you. Crab Apples, thank you. Susie, thank you for being here. Killjoy, thanks for being here. Bebop, thank you. I think I said Capone Box. Alexi 2002. I hope you feel better. Um, yeah, I love you too. Thanks for modding, Alyssa. Crab Apples, thank you. Dixie Normus, thanks for being here and listening to me rant. Yarn Enthusiast, good night. Yeah, I'm gonna get off. Sorry, I didn't, like I said, I had to, I know I rushed through everything and I didn't do my normal amount of photos and stuff, but Mr. Gruba's gonna be here in like 5 minutes and I just don't need him busting in and it just mess up the feng shui. So I'll be nice to him tonight. Good night, lot of coffee. Thank you for being here. Marlene Dietrich, thank you for being here. Linda, thank you for listening to my rant. And I hope everybody had a good time in chat. I really appreciate everybody being here. You know, thanks to Laura for getting in here early and Skinny for getting in here early. And Harmony, thank you. And okay, good night, Susie. Good night, Holy Moly. Good night, everybody. I will talk to you soon. And I'll try to remember to post a picture of the soup when it's done, but it's just basic split pea soup. Bye, guys. I'm not even sure how to get out of this.